How we doing? My name is Blake Thornberry. This is my Module 16 case study, When a Student's Rights Are Wronged. To summarize the case and kind of establish some facts, who's involved, it's about a student, Miguel Hernandez, who is a sophomore, who ends up being paralyzed during a football game. His parents, Mr. and Mrs. Hernandez, Ms. Guessman, it was a student counselor, Howard Carey, who is Miguel's lawyer, and myself, the principal at the high school. So what happened? Miguel moved to the school because of the school's reputation for having high academic programs and a good football team. As I stated before, Miguel became a student who was paralyzed from an injury during a football game. After the injury, Miguel participated in rehab, kept up with his studies, and had a meeting 2 weeks before returning. Him and his parents and the counselor had a meeting to advocate to see what he really needed before he could return to the school as a student. As soon as he got approval from his physician to return to school, he would return back to school. Only thing that they really advocated for is that he's able to go with a wheelchair. He doesn't really need anything else to be successful. Upon returning to school, Ms. Guzman took Miguel out of a biology class that he was signed up for, that he was in, that was a college requirement for his college that he plans to attend, because there is no wheelchair access to the room. The following day, Mr. and Mrs. Hernandez called a meeting with myself, the principal. At the end of the meeting, Mr. Hernandez brought in a lawyer and talked about filing a lawsuit because we weren't meeting his son's needs. Any legal or ethical issues here? Who's harmed? Well, Miguel's harmed. He's taken out of a class that he needs, that is required by his college, that he has the right to be in. Some legal issues. He's being denied a class that is required by his college because of no wheelchair access. That's the only reason why he was taken out of the class in the first place. This is going against FAPE, which is every student is entitled to free appropriate public education. He's being denied it because he was taken out of that class. IDEA, this is an act that guarantees special education and related service to any child with a disability. He has a disability. He qualifies for this as well, and it violates ADA, which is a law that prohibits discrimination solely based on his disability. His disability is he's paralyzed. This goes against that as well. So what exactly happened? A student, Miguel, who becomes paralyzed from a football injury, has been removed from his biology class that is required for his college of choice because the classroom in the school district does not have wheelchair access. So, what happens? Section 4. What do we know? Miguel, his parents, the counselor, the lawyer, myself, and the biology teacher. This happens at Nottingham High School that was built in the 1950s. Roughly, this is the only high school for the district. About a fourth of the buildings in the district are not up to code for wheelchair access. The programs, his biology class, the sports, and the whole school system as a whole. Unknown. Is there any other classes that he could take that are a college requirement instead of just taking him out of one class and putting him in another? What steps were taken before removing him from the class? Did the counselor talk to anybody before she just said, okay, removing him from one class and putting him in another? What kind of technology is available? If we can find a way for him to keep this class and without having to do major renovations right away, there's renovations that have to be done down the line, but is there something we can do right now so that he can still participate in this class? And what did he actually do to keep up with his studies? He was out of school for an extended period of time, and he was able to keep up with his studies. How did he manage to do that? What accommodations were made so that he could keep up with his studies? Review and prioritize. Damaging. Obviously, it's damaging to Miguel's post high school life and even high school life. He's singled out. He's taken out of this class just because he's in a wheelchair. It reflects on what he's going to be able to do after high school in the college that he ultimately wants to go to at this point in time. In the school's not following the laws. They're not giving this kid what he needs to be successful. That's not following the laws. The school is going to be damaged as well. Like to learn more. Like I mentioned earlier, I need to find out who she talked to before changing the schedule. I need to find out what kind of technology, what kind of empty classrooms are available in the building. Anything that's going to help get Miguel what he was required, his classroom, his class that he's choosing to take. And then what steps the school needs to take in order to meet the ADA and the FAPE guidelines. And then a decision. I need to follow up with Ms. Guzman. I need to look for a permanent fix for the problem. The permanent fix may not be able to happen right away. We may have to put a Band-Aid on it, but we need to start looking for a permanent fix so that this problem does not occur down the line. Options. There's tons of options here. First, you could do nothing. You could just ignore his parents, ignore the lawyer, and move on with a lawsuit that they're going to file. Wouldn't recommend this option. Some other options, and this is kind of a couple of steps. First thing, like I said, like I've mentioned multiple times, talk to Ms. Guzman, tell her, hey, this is what you did. These are the laws. And actually let her know. She may not know, but let her know, hey, this isn't right. Here are the legal ramifications of the decision that you made. Can we move his biology class? Is there another classroom that we could just switch for right now to get him wheelchair access? Is there any way that he can participate through online resources, whether that's taking the class online, whether that is a webcam set up so he can be somewhere and still be participating, still be in the class? Any kind of online resource that he can use to continue to be in this class. And get a plan of action. Make the whole district that has a sizable percentage of non-wheelchair accessible to be 100% wheelchair accessible, which they need to be to not have this problem later on down the line. Pros and cons of some actions. Obviously, ignoring it, that's not fixing anything. Miguel's not getting anything he's met, but it shows the staff that you trust their decision. But in this case, it wasn't the right decision. You're going to get sued. Not recommended. Some other options. Discussing the legal ramifications with Ms. Guzman. Pros. You're taking the steps so that this problem doesn't happen again. You're letting her know, hey, this is what happened. This is why it was wrong. Some cons. If you just do this, Miguel still isn't getting what he's needing. You're still probably going to get sued. But this would be at least a good step before you take other steps. Moving biology classes. That'd be great. If we could just pick up, move his biology class, Miguel gets the help he needs, his schedule doesn't change. Puts a Band-Aid on the current problem. A con, may not have another classroom. May not be that easy to just pick up a biology class that has all these other materials to a different classroom that doesn't have those. And it's not always the easiest and fastest fix. Participating through online resources, it could single him out a little bit, which may not be the best for him at that point in time. We may not have the technology, we may not have the resources to do it, but he could still be able to do it if we have those resources, if we have that technology, and it could be a permanent fix as long as he is somewhere for him to go to do this. A plan of action to get the whole school wheelchair accessible. It fixes the problem down the line. It prohibits this problem from happening later. But even if you start construction that day, it's not going to be fixed. It's not going to be fixed immediately. It's not going to be fixed. It's not going to fix the current problem that we're having right this second. But it is something that you need to work towards down the line so this problem doesn't happen again. Choosing the best option. To me, the best option would be to meet and talk with Ms. Guzman, let her know what's going on, let her know her ideas, her thoughts, why she did what she did. Talk with the superintendent. Let them know you're being threatened of being sued. The superintendent needs to be involved. The board needs to be involved. Probably be a good idea to get with some advisors, more likely with some lawyers, and just let them know, hey, this is the situation. How do we move forward? But being able to talk with all these people and getting the best solution would be great. You need to protect the district. You need to protect yourselves. You need to talk with them about how can we avoid this problem? What can we do? Can we move the classroom? Option A, move the classroom. Okay. Option B, we can't move the classroom. It's not possible. Okay. Well, how can we get Miguel the help he needs? How can we get him to be able to take this class? Whether that is moving the classroom, option A, getting online resources, whether that's online class, whether that is some kind of way for him to be in the class without being there, webcam, what have you. You need to move after you guys come up with a plan of action to get the school wheelchair accessible, get Miguel in the class that he needs that is required for college. You need to move forward, not with just your approval, but superintendent, the boards, their advisors. You need to move forward with their advice, their approval to get Miguel everything that he needs to be successful as following these laws and policies. As always, you need to move fast and diligently. You don't want to just move fast and not come up with an idea, not come up with a plan that's going to work. You need to make sure you cover all the steps necessary in order to first get Miguel what he needs. Second, be proactive so that this problem doesn't happen again. And implementation, going to meet and talk with the superintendent, going to talk with Ms. Guzman, let her know what's going on. You're going to meet with your advisors, lawyers if you need to. Going to talk with the board, let them know so they don't hear it secondhand from somebody else. You want to communicate the best as possible with everyone involved. Discuss protecting our district, how to avoid these problems later so it doesn't happen again. Find the unknowns. There's some problems of, hey, what can we do? What can't we do? What technology do we have? Why? And move forward with the board's approval. Find a way to get our school 100% wheelchair access and get Miguel what he needs. He needs to be in this class. Find a way to either get him in this class or get him to a class that is going to be college accredited instead of just high school credit. That's all I have. Thank you for listening, and it's been fun.